In this video, we're going to use decomposition to factor a little bit more of a complicated expression. And the reason why we identify this as more complicated is because the a term is not equal to 1. So the first step to this is we want to find the product of the a and c term. So the product, let's change our color here, the product is 6 times, and watch this, negative 5. Notice here that the c term is negative. A common mistake is that students miss signs when they're looking for their a, b, and c terms. So watch for that if you get stuck. So the product is negative 30, and the sum is the b term, which is 1. So two numbers would be, that would multiply to give me negative 30, that had to give me 1, would be negative 5 and positive 6. As you get better with more practice, you'll be able to pick these numbers out pretty quickly. And again, you'll learn tricks along the way. But having a calculator ready to test out some values is a good thing. And it might take you a little longer at the start, but as you do more, you'll get faster. So the next step is we decompose that middle term. So we end up with 6x squared minus 5x plus 6x minus 5. And then we factor a common term out of the first two terms. In this case, it would just be x, and we end up with 6x minus 5. And then we factor a common term out of the second two terms. And notice there's no common term. So if there's no common term, we factor out 1. So we end up with 6x minus 5. And here's my feel-good moment. The brackets are the same. So I factor out that bracket and end up with 6x minus 5 times x plus 1, and I'm done. Now, a common question that is presented is, what happens if, when I write out this second step here, I write it as 6x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 5. It's different, so will I get a different answer? And in fact, you get the same answer as before, but your middle step will look a little different. So just like before, we factor out a common term, so 6x in the first two terms, so that will leave me with x plus 1. And in the second two terms, the common factor is negative 5, and that will give me x plus 1. And then there's my feel-good moment. I factor out the binomial, so we end up with x plus 1 times 6x minus 5. Even though they're in a different order, they still mean the same thing.